In this video, we're going to go over 5 of the spots you should be looking at if you're looking to get a deal in today's Sacramento real estate market. Let's face it, Sacramento's market is a bit confusing. With high interest rates and lackluster resale inventory, where should you be looking if you're ready to buy but don't want a 7% interest rate and you don't want to settle? In the new home communities in Sacramento. In this video, we go over 5 areas where we're seeing the best deals and incentives and why you need to know about these areas and communities if you plan on buying a home in Sacramento. All right, guys, we're bringing in the maps. We're going to have a little fun tonight. We're going to show you 5 areas where if it was me and I was looking for some deals, I was looking for maybe like the $500,000 price points or, this is where I'd be looking in Sacramento. Now, after that, I'm going to tell you about specific communities in various areas. Some of them are not in the areas I mentioned, but some of these communities are one-offs that you should be looking at. Here's the thing right now is a lot of the builders overbuilt. And their quick moving inventory, as we all know, is going to be the hot commodity right now. So here is a little bit of a map of Sacramento. And the areas we're going to tackle is, number 1 is going to be the Vineyard area. I like the Vineyard area, as you guys know, super close to Elk Grove, super close to downtown Sacramento. A little rural, but at the same time, it's still a pretty hot area and everything too. And then let me see if I can find Antelope. Where are you? All right. I'm sorry about that. My brain is a little fried today. We've been running around. We got a couple of Toll Brothers stuff closing and everything too. God, am I just not seeing it right here? All right, so we go. All right, we'll come back to that. There's Antelope right here. Boom, Antelope right here. That'll be number 2. Number 3 will be West Roseville over here, and then we're gonna hit. Where are we going? We're going to Lincoln, and Lincoln is gonna be one that is just like, there's so much land there. They're building so much stuff out there. It's nuts. And number 5 is going to be Rancho, the Rancho area as well too. It's kind of right over here by Anatolia. So we're going to hit all these areas one by one. We're going to go over some of the deals and everything too. Now, for a lot of people who are saying to me, well, Mark, is there deals in the resale market and all that stuff? There are definitely deals in the resale market. But the truth of the matter is, right now, how I look at it is this: because interest rates are going up, and no one saw this. It's a hard pill to swallow, a 7% interest rate on a house. Doesn't get you the house you really, really want. And a lot of people right now in the resale market are sitting on 2.75s. And you're seeing prices that are still too high or like lackluster inventory. When I say lackluster inventory, I mean stuff that you walk into and it just looks like someone like abandoned the house and ran. So that's the kind of stuff that a lot of people are seeing in the market. Now, I've been working with clients and it seems like all roads lead to the new homes. Now, a deal is it's a little subjective on what a deal is, especially in real estate. A deal doesn't just mean that you have to go out and grab it. A deal doesn't mean like, oh my God, this is a deal. I need to buy this even if I don't need it. Like I really do. I've always believed on this channel. I've always said this: time your life, don't time the market. No matter how great the deal looks or whatnot, if your job's not good, you got not money in the bank, you don't have that need to buy right now. Like I am a big firm believer in just because it's a deal doesn't mean you have to jump on it, right? But there are a lot of people right now that I know in this market that have been waiting for rates to drop. And about a month ago, we saw rates kind of dip in. We even saw them in the high 5s for a little bit. And they were all excited to buy a house. And they're like, yes, this is my time. And so now rates went back up. And all of a sudden, it feels like the rug got swept from underneath their feet. And so right now, what I've been seeing is a lot of those clients are either on the fence or now either they've always been considering new homes or now they're 100% into the new home boat. And so I've been working with a lot of clients out there, basically going through some of the best new home communities deals for them. Now, the thing is, if you can get yourself a new home, if it checks all the boxes and you're somewhere that maybe can get you a 3.5, 4% interest rate, a good solid buy down, then it kind of makes sense. Now, what we're going to see right now is like these 5 areas are kind of like, how do you say, the places I'd be looking at, right? Especially if I'm looking for the deals. Now, why is that, right? Why is Elk Grove not here? Why is Folsom not here? Why isn't Rockland here? Those are some of the areas that a lot of people from the Bay Area and other spots have heard of, right? So there is really still strong demand for those areas. So you're not necessarily like going to find the best deals or the best incentive in those areas. In fact, what you're going to notice is that there might be one-off communities like we'll mention later on, but for the most part, the areas that no one has really heard about outside the Sacramento area, the ones that are kind of like outliers of areas like Elk Grove, like Folsom, those tend to be the ones right now that are hurting a little bit. They overbuilt, and these are the ones that are getting out the best incentives. Not only that, in these areas, you see builders that maybe you don't see in other spots, like a Meritage. You don't see Meritage in Folsom, right? So these are the areas that we're going to focus on today, because these are the areas where I do believe a lot of the builders overbuilt. I do believe that these are some of the best incentives on the market currently. And if you're someone who's annoyed with the fact that interest rates are going back up, maybe you're having another baby, maybe you're moving to Sacramento, and you just want something and you want to think you're getting a fair shake, these are the communities, these are the areas specifically I would look at. Now, I'm going to run through after this 5 deals in communities that I think are smoking hot in our area right now. Now, does that mean you have to go out and buy them just because you're watching this video? Absolutely not. Okay, a deal is a deal, and if it makes sense to you, then it's a great deal. If it doesn't make sense to you, it's gone. So I don't want you guys to feel like because I'm saying this, you need to rush out and go buy this house. It doesn't work that way. It's just about kind of helping the people who are thinking to themselves, I want to buy a house. What are the areas that I should be looking at right now if I'm looking to get those incentives? You know, number one, it's going to be always on the quick move and stuff, just straight up. Now, this vineyard area that I mentioned, like I said, super close to what's called, downtown Sacramento. You can't see it on the map. And it's kind of an outlier of Elk Grove. So what I mean by that is, for the most part, like what I've noticed in the Sacramento area specifically is that Matt is literally one of the busiest mortgage guys in the world. And honestly, I'm sure he didn't call me back today because he was talking to about 1 million clients. He is diligent. Matt, you're my boy still. We'll talk tomorrow. Okay, so here's the thing about this, right? The vineyard area is that spot that's close to Elk Grove. And you're talking about maybe like a $50,000 to $100,000 price difference on the homes in Elk Grove or in Vineyard. You're also talking about maybe $20, what is it, 320 probably about the Melrose out there. So it's a little cheaper per month than Elk Grove as well too. So it's a nice kind of an area that's developing and growing. Although I will tell you one thing about the Vineyard area, it is going to feel a little rural for you. I love the Vineyard, my favorite golf course. Wild Hawk is there. Matt, what do you think about all the building that's going on there? You got Taylor, you got like Richmond, you got everyone underneath the sun over there too. And so, like I said, this area right now, a lot of people from the Bay Area don't know about it. I would say the Vineyard area is going to give a lot of deals right now. I'd say like right now, it's probably like the number 5 spot is going to be the best spot in the list that I'm giving you. But this spot, I would say also is a fantastic area to buy into. If you like Elk Grove, you need to be down near downtown Sacramento. If you're someone who's looking in the 5s, the 6s, you want to kind of go there. Like the Vineyard area is great. Now, Taylor Morrison is building Wild Hawk South and Wild Hawk North. Now, in both those communities, you're not going to find too much of a deal over there. It is the way it is. Taylor isn't. I'm stuck in my office, so I don't get out there much. A bunch of builders building. Oh, man. They're building like crazy. You got Taylor out there. And Taylor's not giving a lot of stuff, especially their smaller community. They were giving some incentives, but because they're just building their next phase, they don't have too many incentives going on there. But I like Beezer out there too. I think Beezer is a hot buy right now. I think you got Riverhaven. I think you got Stonehaven out there too. I think they're offering like $20,000, $30,000 of incentive money as well too, which is nice. I think Beezer is a great builder out there. I think it has some of the best floor plans I've seen out there. You can get lots that are bigger. So for me, if it's me and I'm thinking to myself, I want to stay around 500. I want to stay low 500s. Maybe a buy down will help me get there. Like Beezer is definitely the community I would probably look at in the Vineyard area. Like I said, I like Taylor Morrison. Don't get me wrong. Taylor Morrison is probably one of my favorite builders, but I will tell you straight up, the Taylor Morrison, if you go into the Vineyard area, the Wild Hawk, I think is south, a smaller building, they will tell you they are giving basically little to no incentives because they don't really need to. They didn't overbuild, right? They're starting their new phase and they're good to go. And so the incentives aren't going to be fantastic there. Where the incentives are going to be great is Beezer, and where also they're going to be great is Richmond American as well over there too. And they have a few remaining, but I know the Richmond American homes can get you in the 4s. And I know that there's solid buy downs happening at Beezer and Vineyard, at Stonehaven, and both Riverhaven. Those are communities, like I said, a lot of people from the area have never heard of them. And so what does that mean to you? That means that they were planning on selling a whole lot more homes. People are kind of focusing on Elk Grove. And this area right now, if you're looking for the $500,000, maybe like low 6s for a big backyard, this is where you go. So I really, really do like the Vineyard area as my number. We'll go 5. Why don't we call it that? Number 5 spot to buy into. All right, now let's go into, the Richmond American. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Richmond American, the Vineyard area as well too. It's gated. It's nice. They're offering, last time I checked, they're offering interest rates in the 4s, and they have some nice single story plans and everything too. Now it's farther in the Vineyard area than Beezer and than Taylor Morrison, but it's in a gated community. So if you're someone who needs privacy, likes a gated vibe of it, this is a good community to check out. The thing about Richmond American, especially this community, it has some of the worst marketing I've ever seen in my entire life. And so we stumbled upon it just because we were looking online for our clients, and honestly, like they had no traffic there. So I'd say if you're looking for something, you're looking for gated, you're looking for something with a great interest rate, I would say definitely check out the Richmond American. Now, like I said, it's a little bit further into the Vineyard area. It's a little more rural, but at the same time, great floor plans, single stories, nice big lots, natural land out there too. So there's not tons of neighbors, but it's a cute little community. Now, it says 616, but I tell you something, guys, I've been out there and they're I don't know, it's a fire sale out there right now. All right, so the next one we're looking at is Antelope. And there's really only one builder that I'd look at in Antelope because it's the only one kind of like doing some great stuff, and that's KB. KB, guys, if you're looking for something, this is one of the few communities in the Sacramento area in the 4s. 5s is kind of the norm for a lot of stuff that's going on there. If you get something in the 5s, it's a smoking deal. This community in Antelope is in the 4s. Now, they also realize that they're one of the only communities in the 4s. So you're not going to get too many amazing deals on these things. But the deal is the fact that you get something in the Antelope area, like I said, which is kind of right here, which is close to Citrus, Fair Oaks, Roseville. It's almost like a little suburb of Roseville, and you get something in the 4s. So for me, if you're an investor looking for an investment property, I think this is a great buy. If you're someone looking for a first-time home, if you're a first-time home buyer or something, this is where you go. And this is one of the few communities that I'm seeing that's this central to everything selling in the 4s. So Antelope is definitely my number 2 as far as the new home stuff goes. I would say take a look at it. KB is the builder I'd be looking at over there as well too. Okay, now let's go to West Roseville. West Roseville, you can see on this map, is right next to Antelope. And in fact, some of the communities border on the central school district out there too. Some are in Roseville City. So just understand before you pull the trigger on a home in West Roseville, figure out what the schools are. Also, good, bad, and different. It's always good to have information on what you're buying. All right, so here we go. We got the West Roseville area. There's so many builders building out there. It's just not even funny. But I would say right now, Amorosa Ranch is the hot area right now in West Roseville. You got a lot of builders going out there. You got D.R. Horton. I think KB is going out there too. I think Lennar's hitting out there as well too. This is going to be the hot new area of West Roseville, which means you have a lot of new home communities being built there, right? You got home communities, right? And this is the D.R. Horton one. And, you have home communities also building a little bit, I've heard, in the low 5s. So this area of West Roseville, and it's a little further out there, is going to be the hot ticket in West Roseville. So if it's you, I would say check out these communities. Now, why would I check out new communities? Well, as I always say on this channel, one of the things that's nice about buying one of the first couple homes in a community, if you have good vibes about the real estate market, is that normally what happens is every release, they increase maybe $5,000. So if they have like maybe 20 increases, all of a sudden you walk into instant appreciation in your house and you're happy, smiling from ear to ear. So I like the fact, if I was going to buy a new home, I would probably buy at the very, very beginning of a community that I worked with a great team like our team, investigated it, saw the growth potential of an area, saw the real estate market healthy. This is what I would do. So I like this area in West Roseville, and I think you can get great deals. In fact, a buddy of mine who does new home stuff was telling me that this is the spot. He's like, Amorosa Ranch, man. He's like, D.R. Horton's out there, but there's a couple other builders as well too, and this is where we're seeing some amazing deals. Like I said, this is part of West Roseville, like the Winding Creek and everything too, but I like it. Now, the other spot I'd say would be Winding Creek by Meritage, or Traverse by Meritage. Meritage is so into right now giving, I think it's 3% towards closing costs or buying down your rate. I would say if you're looking right now in kind of like the Winding Creek area, the West Roseville area, I think Meritage, like I said, if you look here, D.R. Horton, who used to be the hot ticket with Balboa 2, that was in basically like, the low 5s. Now the cheapest kind of builder right now that doesn't do cheap work. I really like Meritage's build quality. And I would say go check out the reviews. But I would say the bang for your buck is there with Traverse at Winding Creek. I think that not only are they probably the most affordable builder right now in the West Roseville area. I think they're giving great incentives with their 3%. And I think they just started building these communities as well too. So you can be on the ground floor of a community that's growing. And also I do think these prices are going to increase. So I definitely like Traverse. I like Meritage as a builder. We went into the mothership at Meritage. We met a bunch of people, really nice people, really nice group of people, and they really love working with people to try to get in their homes. Now, I have shown D.R. Horton and Meritage back to back to people, and honestly, every single time I show Meritage, every time I show D.R. Horton together, the same result. We like Meritage better. That's just subjective, I know, but what I'm saying, guys, right now is the most economical builder in West Roseville happens to be Meritage, and I think they do build really nice houses. Now, you're not going to find a single story. They don't build those. It's 2 stories. But if you're someone who's looking for an investment property in Roseville, you see the growth potential with Costco, with the Kaisers, with the schools, West Park High, all that stuff. This is a very, very good deal currently in the market. Like I said, going back to what I said earlier, just because a deal's a deal, for someone doesn't mean it's a deal for you. Make sure your job's secure. Make sure you got money in the bank, and make sure this is something that makes sense for you, no matter what goes on in this video. Now, hopefully you guys are enjoying this video. Hopefully you can smash that like button for me. And guys, if you have any questions on basically any of the new home communities, any of the incentives, anything that we're seeing currently out there right now, let me know. For the most part, we're working with a lot of people. In fact, I'm giving a shout out to like my entire team. We're closing 2 Toll Brother homes tomorrow. And we closed at Taylor Morrison as well too, and we're closing at Beezer. So we do more new home sales than probably any team in the area or any realtor. So if you guys really want to know exactly where the deals are, where the incentives are, I would definitely say reach out to our team, and absolutely we would love to talk to you and work with you. That's kind of what we live for. Sad, but true. Okay, so this is West Roseville. Now let's go into another area. Over here, Lincoln. Lincoln is a crazy one because Lincoln is just building, building, building. There's just so much land in Lincoln that it's nuts. I think all the people that I moved into the Taylor Morrison, Saratoga up in 12 Bridges are probably smiling ear to ear because that area is just growing, developing, new high school. There's going to be more new schools put in there. The only negative, of course, is that when you start going into like the Lincoln area, you are on PG&E. As in like the previous area, West Roseville, you are what's called on Roseville Electric, and everywhere else is in SMUD. This is the only area that I would say, I'm thinking, just want to make sure I'm right. Boom, 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 boom. Yep, it's the only area that you're going to have to deal with PG&E. Now, here's the thing, guys. As you guys know in the Sacramento area, to find a new home builder building in the 4s, it just doesn't happen too much. So I would say right now, if you're looking in Lincoln, LGI is probably going to give you the best incentives and also floor plans. If you can see right here, floor plans that are, where are they? Starting in the 4s. That's nuts. Yes, they're 2 bedrooms. Yeah. But for Lincoln, I really don't think that there's a builder building like close to the price point LGI is. Now, is it a deal? Honestly, I think with the buy downs are offering, I think with the incentives are offering, I think, if it's someone who's saying to themselves, look, I got a $500,000 budget. I work remote. I want to buy a property. What does it look like? I think LGI, based on my buddy Dave, who actually works over in Linda, was telling me that they can get you in the like low 4s or high 3s for interest rates. Now, like I said, we're going to go into the market update a little later, but as everybody knows, interest rates are going up. Now, so for me, it's just one of those things that's just worrisome to a lot of people as far as how interest rates are going. I saw one realtor do a video today on Instagram, which I saw, and they were like, this is a great time to jump into resale where no one's looking. The only problem right now about the resale market is, a lot of people don't know when the rates are going to go dropping so you can refi. Now, that's the biggest problem. And that's why everyone's kind of like either on the fence or they just aren't looking at the new homes. And I think the new homes right now are the hot ticket. I think as far as listings go, listings are soft. I think in the resale market as well too, it's just you're seeing a lot of stuff sit, even stuff that's really nicely priced and nicely presented. Our listing on Pilot Hill is still sitting and it's gorgeous. I tell you guys, if you guys are looking for a compound, if you're looking for an estate on the top of the hill, you got to check this one out. And our listing in Gold River is as well too. It's just the market, the seasonality, and that's kind of what we're playing with right now. Okay, so this would be Lincoln. And like I said, the only thing about Lincoln you got to be wary of is the fact that it's PG&E. And also Lincoln, if you look at it here, let me see if I can bring back the maps. If you look at it here, Lincoln definitely is one of those areas that's probably, the most farthest removed. Here, hold on. Sorry about that. It's probably the furthest removed from like, where you are. And Lincoln is kind of a drive out there as well too. I'd say Lincoln's probably perfect for people who maybe work in Roseville. But if you work downtown Sacramento, that's gonna be a long drive. If you're someone who has to commute to the Bay Area, that's a bear. So just keep that in mind. But so Lincoln is probably gonna be my number 4. And now my number 1, and this is a no-brainer for me. Number 1 is easily the Rancho area. I think Rancho right now overtook West Roseville, Antelope, and everything too. It's just, here's one of the things that you guys know. I took a guy out there as well too, and this is the reason why the Rancho kind of wins it hands down. They're running out of these funds. Now they did something a little different than most builders do, which is kind of crazy, right? Ahead of time, they actually spent $200 to $300 million to actually buy down the rate. So for this, it doesn't really matter too much if like rates go up. If rates are in the 7s or rates are in the 6s or whatever, for a limited time until this money runs out, KHOV can get you, and as long as you got good credit and everything's good, and it's also full disclosure an FHA loan, but you can get a 3.5, which is just nuts. And this isn't a temporary buy down. This is a 3.5. Now, why is that huge? Well, look at what we're looking at right now in the current market as far as interest rates going up. So this is why, for the most part, if you're looking for a deal in Sacramento, and I told this to a client and a friend that came down here over the weekend to look at homes, a 3.5 is something that, in my humble opinion, we're not going to see for a long, long time. And so when I saw KHOV offering this 3.5, it kind of blew me away. Now, like I said, you're going to run into a lot of builders. Like you got Tri-Point Homes, you got all these other builders that are basically saying, we got $30,000 so you can buy down your rate. That was great maybe when rates were like in the low 6s to compete with this. But now that rates are going into the 7s, I mean, it's kind of like KHOV is like going further, is getting better and better and better as rates get worse and worse and worse. Now, this is for standing inventory on certain homes, but at the same time, I saw a home in KHOV this weekend. It actually had 2 units. It was a single story. I mean, it actually could be a 5-bedroom if you just took out the in-law unit. So we're talking about like we had a in-law unit, a next-gen suite. It was a single story, and they wanted it out the door for 3.5, or you get a 3.5 interest rate, and it was 620, which was just insane. So like I'm telling you guys, if you are looking for the best deals right now, if the deals are the thing for you, if you're saying to yourself, I just need a deal right now, I need to get myself into a house, I would say hands down, KHOV in Rancho is the number 1 you should get to. Now, why is there such an urgency about this builder specifically? They're not doing it like most builders, right? They're not saying, hey, look, we're giving you 3%, we're giving you 6%. They actually paid out of their own money to buy down the rate. And once their money is gone, this 3.5 and the 2-1 buy downs that they're doing will be gone. That means that no matter if they have inventory standing or not, the second the money runs out, this deal is off the table. And so for me, like I said, if you run the numbers, it's just phenomenal what you can get. So these are the 5 areas, like I mentioned before, like these are the 5 areas I'd be looking at if you're looking to buy. I would probably start with Rancho. I'd look at KHOV to see if they have a floor plan. And like I said, they got like 4 communities. They have a couple new communities coming out. West Roseville, I'd probably hit Meritage. Check out the Amoroso Ranch. Antelope, if you like Antelope, you like the central location, I think KB is good for you. Like I said, KB isn't going to give you any incentives. They kind of know what they have, houses in the 4s. If Lincoln is maybe a spot for you, you don't mind it being a little further away and on PG&E, you can get something in the 4s in Lincoln. And if Vineyard is your spot and you're saying, I like Elk Grove, but Elk Grove prices are just a little high for me, I would say check out the Vineyard area, look at Beazer Homes, and then look at Richmond American. So those are the 5 areas I would say that if you're looking in the 5s, if you're looking for deals, those are the spots I've been taking clients into. Those are the spots I've been investigating myself. And those are the spots because not a lot of people, because we do still get a lot of people coming in from other areas, they want the Folsoms, they want the Rocklands, the Rosevilles, the Elk Groves. These are the spots that are a little soft right now. These are the spots they overbuilt, and these are the spots you can get some great incentives. And like I said, guys, if you have any questions on what I've just mentioned, reach out to my team. We can talk to you about it. If you go to info@the Mark McDonough team, Melanie from my team has an incentive list that she's been sending out to a lot of people to let them know what exactly the new incentives are, the hot buys and everything too. So reach out to info and just say, add me. And then Melanie will send you out a incentive sheet of all the new homes as well too. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about specific communities, right? I wanted to give you 5 areas, but I also wanted to give you 5 buys. And I will start by number 5. I still think the KB and Antelope to get something in, in the high 4s, in Antelope that's centrally located. I think that that's a fantastic buy. I like the community the KB Homes has out there. Floor plans are great, and the price point, you just can't beat it anywhere in the Sacramento metro area, except maybe Lincoln, but I still think Antelope's got that totally. Now, number 2, it's going to be a weird one. It's going to be a little bit of like an outlier for what I was just talking about earlier. Bickford Ranch, honestly, is hurting like crazy. So if you're someone who's going out to Bickford Ranch and you're seeing Tri-Point and you're seeing Toll Brothers, both those communities right now are giving a crazy amount of incentives, like $150,000. The special assessments for both these communities are killing them. I think Tri-Point out there has sold actually 1 home. So if you're someone who wants one of those big houses on the hill with views and everything too, guys, I would say go check out Tri-Point. Go check out Toll Brothers, put in offers. If that's what you want, that's where you're going to get some deals with those big, huge luxury houses because they're soft right now. The luxury market in Sacramento in general, in the resale area and for new homes is soft, but the softest market right now for a luxury brand new home easily is Bickford Ranch. So I'd go out there, make an offer. You never know what will happen. Our number 3, I would say Meritage again in West Roseville. I love the idea because I think Meritage builds a good home. I think also with the incentives they're giving, the location, I think Meritage is the winner in West Roseville. So I think that's my number 3. I think my next one would probably still be number 2 would probably still be Tri-Point, Canterley, and Lariat in Folsom Ranch. Another outlier. But I'll be honest, I talked to Gary at Tri-Point. He's like, man, make me a deal. We only have a few of them left. We'll give you 6% off the purchase price for closing or for buying down your rate. And guess what? Make me an offer. Maybe we can throw in solar. Maybe we can lower the price. So if you're someone who wants to go to Folsom, you want to get something in maybe the high 5s or low 6s, this is the only 2 communities right now in Folsom that I think are just steal of deals, Canterley and Lariat. Now the difference, Canterley has that main shared driveway and has an HOA. Lariat are single family homes. Lariats tend to be a little bit more. I've moved at least 5 people into those, one of the 2 of the communities. I think 2 in Lariat and 3 in Canterley, and I've had no complaints. In fact, I've seen my buddy Nick, who sometimes watches this podcast, saw mad appreciation when he actually tried to refi his house as well too. So those are the communities that I would say would be my number, my 4th one I'd recommend. And number 5, and I still got to go back to this, guys, it's KHOV 3.5. Guys, if an FHA until the money runs out, now it doesn't necessarily mean you have to pull the trigger on this or whatnot, but if you're looking to jump into something, honestly, 3.5 when we're hovering around 7 right now, it's a smoking deal, guys. All right, now let's get into a little bit of the marketing report of Sacramento. And if you guys have been watching this video, what I normally do at this point is basically jump into the Sacramento real estate market. This is a live show as well too. So for you guys watching this, understand that my team is active all throughout the Sacramento area. We're talking Sacramento County, Placer County, El Dorado, Yolo. So we know the entire scope of everything happening right now. We talked to a lot of realtors, new home salespeople, and everything too. So we're going to give you a little bit of a breakdown of how the market is looking right now. Number 1, it's just slow. Seasonally, it's always going to be slow, but right now we're just seeing it be slow. And it's mainly because a lot of the inventory is stacking up. We're seeing a lot of people who have those 2.75s. They're listing high. And I'm thinking that they're going to be pulling off their houses relatively soon and either relisting in spring or summer. The market is just slow, and there's not a lot of people right now who want to pull the trigger on some of the houses that are out there. And that's just kind of what I'm looking at right now. All right. Thank you for your informative content. I'm trying to prepare to buy a home, but it really isn't easy on a single income. I'm learning a lot though. Here's the thing. It is a tough one. And one of the things that scares me as a parent, having like 3 kids growing up, the thing that really scares me is the idea that like a single income just isn't doing it anymore. It's just a hard thing right now. And I think one of the things I'd like to do in the future is maybe set up a couple more channels for the outlier areas in Sacramento, maybe the Lindas, the Yubas, and maybe the Grass Valleys, because I think those areas in the future are going to be really, really popular areas, growing areas. And I think that the housing there is a lot more affordable than Sacramento is for right now. No, I know, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people are going to say, yes, it's affordable. Yes, it is comparatively towards the Bay Area and Los Angeles, 100%. But to a lot of people who grew up in Sacramento, a lot of people who live in this area, it is that kind of situation where it's single income doesn't really cut it anymore. And it's a kind of a sad thing. I moved from the Bay Area because I like the idea of having that less pressure, which I do have, but I see right now with house prices going up, it isn't a single family or it isn't a single person buying a home right now. It's usually like a couple, and it's a scary thing. And then we got the election, the economy, recession, consumer debt, all that stuff too. So it is kind of a scary time. Hopefully though, maybe with these new channels that I'm creating, I want to call them like Affordable Sacramento, we can showcase some areas that are a little bit more affordable, maybe bring attention to them as well too, and show you why these areas could be good for you. So hopefully, I don't know, I'm not 100% committed to this, but it's just something that's definitely crossed my mind. All right, so here we are, and this is where we're looking at right now for interest rates. And like I said, this is scary how fast this happened, right? And like I said, this isn't about the rate, this is about the direction, and this is a direction that doesn't look good for a lot of people. So I would say for the most part, this isn't a good place to be at this point. I would say if it was me, and I saw this and I saw the direction of rates, it would probably make me reassess and either jump on the fence and say, I'm just going to wait and see what happens after the election. Or I'd probably say, you know what, like I've been listening to Mark. I want to reach out to his team and talk about some of these new home incentives happening and maybe that could work. Those are the options I'm looking at right now. I think a lot of listing agents are probably going to be pulling off houses, relisting in spring. I even talked to one realtor, a friend of mine, Kelsey, and she said, you know what? I'm considering right now being January because it just seems like between now and January, it's going to be really, really slow. At Coldwell, everyone's freaking out right now. A lot of the, resale agents are freaking out. A lot of people are even thinking about changing jobs. That's how bad the market is currently. It is just slow. So if anyone tells you it's any different, they're completely full of it. This is just the way the market is. Do I think it'll pick up? Absolutely. But I think there's a lot of things that are putting people on the fence. I think the election is a huge thing. People don't really know that, what's going to happen if someone wins, what's going to happen if the other person wins. So I think people are very, very nervous. I think this economy right now is making people very, very hesitant to pull the trigger on houses, which I totally get. And so that's kind of what also with seasonality has led to us having a very, very slow real estate market. Like I said before, and this was a couple weeks ago, I think towards the end of the year, rates, we're going to be doing the dance of the sevens, like I coined a couple months ago. I think we're going to be doing that a little bit. And I think the hot buys are going to be the new homes. And if you're looking to buy, I think that's where you're going to get your deals. That's where you can get the inventory, and that's where you're going to get the floor plans that work for you. It just makes so much sense to me. And tell me if I'm wrong, guys. Tell me if I'm wrong. If I'm completely blinded by new homes and if the resale market is better in some way. Now, I do think, though, there are deals in the resale market, but I think you got to look hard for them. And I think you just have to take a big gulp and deal with the interest rate. And maybe even work in a buy down or something when you make an offer. Maybe start looking for some assumable loans as well too. But that's kind of what I would do. Okay, so now another thing I want to talk about a little bit on this podcast tonight is also serious sellers versus sellers that are feeling out the market. I think what we're seeing right now with a lot of the people throwing their houses on the market, we're seeing the serious sellers. And usually those are the 3 Ds: death, divorce, or departing the state. Those are the serious ones. Those are the ones who are like, I want my cash, I'm gone, sell my house, whatever you have to do, make it happen. And then on the other side, you have basically the kind of feeling out the market. The ones that maybe were having dinner and they got a real estate agent calling them saying, I can list your house and sell it for $20 million. Can I list it? They're selling it. They're like, yeah, I'm on a 2.75 or the thing's paid in full. If I get that price, I'm good. If I don't, I'm just going to keep it at that price or maybe even like, pull it off. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think in the next couple of months, you're going to see some stuff fall off. The MLS, just because the seller really wasn't that serious and they have a 2.75 and they're okay keeping the house. So I think that right now, within these next couple months, you're going to see the difference between serious sellers versus testing out the market sellers. Now, I do think the serious sellers for like the 3Ds that I mentioned probably will start reducing prices somewhat, probably around the beginning of November. And so those are the things to watch out for. And like I said, guys, my biggest tip that I can tell you is just take note of the addresses that you really like. Honestly, tomorrow, for some no rhyme or reason, they could just have disappeared off the face of the earth. But if you keep track of the addresses that were at least shown for sale at least one point in time, you're going to know that maybe either you reach out to them or your realtor reaches out to them and you maybe can get a deal happening because they definitely are thinking about buying or thinking about selling their home. All right. So what else do we got here? We got new homes. Yeah, new homes, like I said, in certain one of these areas, I think they've overbuilt. I would look at communities like what's called a new home company, Elk Grove. They're not going to give too many incentives. They just started out, so they're pretty good. They haven't overbuilt just yet. But the communities that have been there for a while, the communities that for the most part are kind of wanting to get rid of some of the inventory. Like one of the things I love about KHOV is the fact that they keep telling people that they have 3 other communities coming up and they have a lot of same inventory, which makes it so easy to realize that they just want to get rid of this stuff. And so if you can get some kind of like, inside scoops like that, it's going to tell you more than not how desperate they are to get rid of their inventory. All right. So Woodside is a new player in town in Folsom Ranch. I haven't checked out their homes. They're going to be doing a grand opening. That should be good. You got Black Pines community in West Sacramento as well, too. They're coming out with some brownstones, 3 stories with roof decks. We're going to do videos of those as well, too, for you guys. Will there be better incentives as the market slows? 100%. If the market slows, it's just going to be better and better and better. Now, that being said, remember, one of the biggest drivers for these incentives that we're seeing right now is that they want to get this stuff off the books. They want to get this stuff off the books for Q4. They want as many houses sold so they can basically say, look how much money we made. Let's keep building. So their biggest thing right now is to sell. And it happens almost every single year. I mean, maybe some years not as much just because interest rates are down or up, whatever. But for the most part, normally this time of the year, September, October, November, December, this is the time where you're going to see that they overbuilt and they want to get rid of inventory. Now, if you walk into a new home, any of the stuff that I've gone over and you see something and you really want it to be built from scratch and you want a premium lot and all that stuff, guys, you're not going to get that. That's not where the deals are. The deals are on something that you look at. It's already built. The best incentives are probably going to be on a home that's been sitting there for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then just haggle. Have your realtor haggle, go hard and see what deal you can get. Now, the crazy part about KHOV is I know this being true. Now, this is the crazy part. I had a client of mine who was going to come up last Thursday, but he couldn't because of his car. So he actually came up Sunday. So we go to KHOV on Sunday, and this is in Rancho. Honestly, this is the craziest part. So he comes up Sunday, and KHOV is like a zoo. Right? It is like a zoo. No other community is probably just blasting, but KHOV still got those 3.5s and the buy downs. So it's just going like crazy last weekend. That day, Sylvia, who works over at KHOV, sold, or her crew over there sold, put 5 homes in contract. I'm not kidding. I was there with my client from 10 to basically, I don't know, whenever they closed. And I saw this happen. They put 5 people in contract. That means 5 people came in, they showed houses to, and they went into contract at KHOV over at like Springs Ranch, over those communities over there too. In fact, the crazy part is my client came in and we were in the office talking to Sylvia, and then someone actually knocked on the door and they're like inquiring about the last house, the one that he was looking to purchase. I've never seen that much insanity for new homes. And like they were, even the new home staff at KHOV, they were even bickering between themselves because they were being like pulled in all different directions. So for me, like I said, that kind of led to this video kind of telling you guys where the deals are happening. It's kind of crazy though. Is it ever possible for new home builders to negotiate the purchase price? Yes. possible. Certain times it is possible, but they won't go too low, right? They're not going to go too low because then they ruin it for the rest of. Imagine if like you buy a house for $500,000, right? You buy this house, you want it to appreciate, and then someone else sells the house for $490, right? The next house after you, you're going to be super annoyed. So they don't really do that, and also it throws off the comps in the area. The only company, and I know the only company that I have seen really go crazy on price slashes are Lennar. When Lennar comes to the end of a community, all of a sudden, like prices start dropping like crazy. It's almost like they just want to get out of town, and you just see price cuts, boom, 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 boom. Other than that, majority of the builders might reduce 5 or 10, but they're not going to mess with the appreciation value of their entire community. So they'll probably give you some design credits, buy downs, maybe throw in solar, maybe throw in appliances. But the last thing they really want to touch is like the purchase price. I would say maybe like 10, 15,000, maybe. Like I've seen that happen over at Tri-Point, Lariat, and Canterley. But for the most part, like, it's kind of just bad form when a builder does that. And I haven't seen any builder but Lennar really kind of do that. They did that up at Emerald Peak, I think in El Dorado Hills. And now they're doing it in North Lake over in the Thomas area. So that's kind of the main thing. Hopefully that answered your question. Roy. Next one. Boom. Let's get into some questions. Okay, so I've been doing here, hold on. All right, we've been doing some videos with Aaron on Monday about little hidden kind of areas in Sacramento, and we're going to continue to it. I mean, the next Monday, I think we're going to probably be covering Sierra Oaks. Now, what I like about these areas, one is I know they're resale, and I told you resale is what it is, but I want you guys to become a little educated in this area as well, too. I think a lot of people who watch this channel are coming in from the Bay Area, and they don't really know areas like Arden Arcade, Sierra Oaks, Wilhagen. So we're going to cover some of these areas that are kind of like OG Sacramento. These areas that have really beautiful houses, like really nice curb appeal, setback houses. So I want to kind of show you guys some other areas other than your Folsoms or Rocklands, Elk Grove. A lot of times I feel like I'm kind of doing too much of that, too much of the new home stuff. So I also want to give you guys a little bit of an education on some of the other communities that you might not know about. So this is the Arden Arcade area. Gorgeous area. Arden Park's over there too. It's one of like Michelle on my team's favorite areas. Schools, but the schools elementaries are not the best. Look, here's the thing for me. If I'm going to purchase a house, I'm going to find out home insurance, schools, and utilities. What does that look like? Those are my top 3. Other than that, I mean, of course, I'm going to do a whole lot of research. But I'd say before you pull the trigger on anything, guys, find out what school district it is. One of the areas that's getting into a lot of trouble with that is the West Roseville area. Roseville City and then Center. Now, for me, schools are subjective. Honestly, that's kind of how I feel about it. I think anyone, though, before they purchase a house, go to greatschools.org, go to Crime Watch as well, too, and just figure out if the area meets your standards. Okay. Now, Nick's Tacos is the best tacos, but Roseville is the best Thai hut off Fair Oaks and Sunrise. All right, Guitar and Synths, man. I'm starting my list of places to check out. As the more I check out, the more I'm going to bring them out to you. But I'm looking for more Thai places. They're gluten-free as well, too. So I will be trying the Thai place out for sure. All right, Guitar says close to everything is the best thing. And who wants to spend hours commuting from Folsom, El Dorado to a job centers downtown? Yeah, that's another thing too. A lot of people who are working downtown are getting kind of annoyed because there's so much congestion on the 50 right now too. So I do think mentioning areas like Arden Park, Arden Arcade, Sierra Oaks, East Sacramento, and Land Park should be things that you kind of like, you should know about, right? They're cute little areas, cute little communities where you can, they close off the streets, they do the bicycle ride and everything too. So I think that like one of the things that we're going to do on like Monday specifically is show you some of these hidden gem communities in Sacramento. So you guys know that you have other options. Now, the other benefit of this is, honestly, Arden Arcade is soft right now. Sierra Oaks is soft. When I say soft, I just mean that there's not a lot of tension, not a lot of spotlight, and I'm seeing some really nice deals in those areas as well, too, because everyone's going to Folsom. Everyone's going to El Dorado Hills. So these are kind of areas you should pay attention to and at least check out to see if they work for you. But hopefully, either way, you enjoy the education on the area. Now, if you guys are enjoying this show, guys, smash that like button. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go, maybe an hour and a half with you guys, telling you guys about Sacramento. Please like the video. All right. Teachers make it matter so much. I think I'm with you 100%. Like for me, one of the biggest things about when people make the move here to the Sacramento area is schools, teaching, education. I mean, and it also goes so much further than that. It's not only the teachers, it's also the sports programs, it's also the extracurriculars, the music program, and everything too. So just be kind of thorough when you're coming into the area. Schools definitely make a difference. And one of the things that was mentioned about like the Sierra Oaks area, Arden Arcade area, all the East Sacramento area, there's a lot of good private schools there too. But as someone coming into the area, you also have to make that kind of decision. Did you move all the way from the Bay Area or Los Angeles or wherever to Sacramento to send your kids to private schools when there's amazing public schools in areas like Folsom, Rockland? So this is a debate that a lot of people have when they're looking to move into the Sacramento area. All right. Next one, Garden of the Gods, a great area. Sierra Oaks, Arden Oaks, Del Dio, all nice areas around Arden Arcade. Yeah, guys, honestly, Arden Arcade, that area is just nice. If you're looking for something that is kind of old school, tree-lined streets, great community vibe, cute houses with character, that's an area you should check out. Like I said, we're going to be running some more videos about that area specifically. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. All right. Thanks, guys. The housing neighborhoods are so beautiful and so central to everything. Yeah, you're totally right. I mean, like in that area, you really don't have to leave the area. Like the Guitars and Synth said, you can go to the stores there, great restaurants, got Piatti's over there as well too. Everything is super close. The water's close if you want that. Downtown's not really that far. Yeah, I do definitely like that Arden area. All right. I'd love to see. Oh, okay. This is an interesting one. I think this could be something that we're going to be doing in the future. I'd love to see a video about the winter. Do you guys long cold winters like Virginia? Well, no, not really. We do have a rainy season or a cold season. Like right now it's cold. It'll be probably cold until March, but not like crazy cold. I think this is more like brisk, nice cold. How many of you guys like the cold weather? I love the seasons changing. And I love this time of the year. You have to put your like cardigans on, everything too. I don't think it's crazy though. I don't think we get ever that winter that is like freezing cold. Maybe we get a couple weeks of it around December, but for the most part, I really think that we have amazing weather here in California. But I will be thinking about doing a video about the different cycles of weather. How bad is it in summer? How bad is it in winter? What are the things you need to be aware of about the seasonality and the weather and the climate here in Sacramento? So that's something that I'm definitely going to be doing in the future. All right. Cold, 60 degrees is warm compared to everywhere else. I know. It's so funny because I see the stuff about the weather and I feel like, I mean, honestly, I'm watching this stuff about like tornadoes, hurricanes, and I'm here on the podcast talking about, oh man, it's hot. I mean, I want to smack myself sometimes. So yeah. Guys, in Sacramento, we have it pretty good. Like the weather is nice. I'm not a big fan of humidity. We don't really have a lot of humidity here. It's kind of dry. Like, you're going to have some winters. You're going to have some winds, probably atmospheric river. During the summer, it does get hot, but you can afford a swimming pool here and solar keeps it pretty nice and warm. So I'll stop doing my complaining on the weather. I think we really, really do have it good in Sacramento. All right, next one. Sacramento landlords' rights. Hopefully you enjoyed George coming on the show. He's an awesome guy. I'm very, very careful about the people I want to bring on the show in front of you because I do believe that if I bring on anyone on the show, bring on anyone on the channel, it's kind of my reputation as well too. So George, I vetted very thoroughly. And I do think that on this channel, we get a lot of people who are thinking about maybe buying investment properties in the Sacramento area. And a lot of people who are buying maybe their first investment property. So I do think bringing George on was a good idea. And also I would say look into a little bit more about him. He seems like a really nice guy as well too. And I think the more information you have about being a landlord, if that's the direction you want to go to, is great. Oh, and by the way, guys, on Friday, this podcast that we do on Wednesday now is going to be released on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you guys like those platforms, please search for us, download it, much appreciated. And one more time, maybe not one more time, I'll probably ask a few more times, like that video, comment and question and share. I'd love this thing to get out to more and more people. All right, Sarah's got a question. Are there no resales homes on the market due to people staying comfortable with their 2.5s? Honestly, I think there are. I mean, I would say right now, there are houses on the market and there are some people with 2.5s, but I don't know if they're necessarily serious sellers. The serious sellers I see out there, like I said, the 3Ds: death, divorce, and depart in the state. Those are the ones who are kind of like, look, I need to sell my house. What do you think's a good price for it? Here you go. Let's get it done. We need to move on our merry way. I think the 2.5s are either saying, bury me in my interest rate, or they get a call at night from a realtor saying, I can sell your house for $20 million. They're like, if you can do it, good. And then, when it comes time for the realtor to give them a call and say, hey, let's reduce the price, they're like, no, I'm not going to reduce the price. I got a 2.5. If you can sell it, that great. If not, let's take it off the market. That is what I think our inventory is looking like currently, which is not fun. Okay, what would you say to someone who wants to buy into the resale market in Sacramento next summer, and is adamant about no HOA communities? Should I think about renting for a year? One last thing. When do we reach out to your team if next summer is a big move? Thanks, Mark. I would say one is, and Nikki's chiming in right here too. Here's the thing about our team. It's crazy. We talk to people way ahead of their moves at times, right? We're not like the type of team where like, if you don't like have a specific house, we're going to be disinterested. We love this stuff. I don't know, maybe we're like gluttons for punishment or whatnot, but we absolutely love working with people. And we realized that for ourselves, like Nikki's been looking for a house for a while. It took me 8 months to find my house. So I love the education piece of this. And I believe if we work the way we should work, we educate you on the area, we take you on tours, we give you the pros and cons, we show you some homes. Eventually that day will come where you turn to us and say, guys, I found my area, I found my home, this is it. And if we can get you there, that's the best feeling in the world. Like I look at it like there's so many real estate agents out there who are like so selly. But I think the key component of being a real estate agent is education, educating people on this area. Like I was talking to Eric, who's moving into Toll Brothers home. And he was funny because he's like, man, I'd love to be on your podcast and talk about my journey here. So I'm going to have him on sooner than later. But the beautiful part is that I was talking to him a little bit. I'm like, man, like I love to work with clients like you that come out to Sacramento and see what I've seen. Like for me, coming in from the Bay Area, coming into Sacramento and seeing the possibilities just opened my eyes. And so for me, I became really educated in the area with real estate, with everything too. And I want everyone to feel educated. I want everyone to feel like they get Sacramento, they know Sacramento. And if they buy a house in a community or an area, that's the community area that they want out of every single other community area in Sacramento. So Sarah, long and short, reach out to our team so we can start you on the education process. And if it takes you a month, if it takes you a couple years, we're with you every step of the way. All right. Nikki says, and Nikki's funny because her and I are completely different. She loves the hot weather. I sweat like crazy, so it's not great. All right. 65 is chilly to me, but even the 40s and 50s, you can still bundle up and go outside. No snow shoveling. Now, I mean, we're really spoiled here in California. I got to say. And the funny thing is, like, someone was telling me, oh my God, there was an earthquake a little while ago. Did you feel it? I'm like, no, I really didn't. And this is coming from someone that I was in the 89 earthquake and I was in the Northridge earthquake. So I was in, San Francisco during the 89 earthquake, and I was in Westwood for the Northridge earthquake. And it's nice to be somewhere where I'm not feeling those earthquakes. So for me, like I said, the only thing about Sacramento, I would definitely say that we do have our fire season, 100%. Not as bad as everyone thinks. The air quality is not great. We do have that, and atmospheric rivers during the wintertime. But as far as general weather goes, I mean, we're blessed. Everything is nice. I love the seasonality. I can bust out my sweaters. And for me, no complaints. No complaints at all. All right. 10 reasons you might not survive moving to Folsom. My clients love the wildlife. This is a positive thing for them. Guys, you're preaching to the choir. My wife actually makes me buy walnuts at Costco for our squirrels. Wildlife is here. I got 2 doves in the morning. I got squirrels. What else I got? I got an owl in the tree. We got turkeys in Gold River on the streets as well too. So yeah, wildlife is just a part of the thing here in the Sacramento area. All right. What do we got here? Discover. Okay. Good info. Thanks. No problem. And like I said, one of the biggest things for people is they don't realize the difference between Placer and Sacramento. Now, a lot of people, when I did this video, they're talking politics, they're talking this, they're talking that, they're talking all that stuff, right? We don't really talk politics. We don't talk about all that stuff on this channel. What I can tell you, the biggest difference in my opinion of Placer and Sacramento is I think Placer is a little bit more green than Sacramento. It opens up a little bit. Now, the other thing too, just to be really, really considerate of this, is like Sacramento County is on SMUD. And SMUD is half the price of PG&E. The only area in Placer that's actually not on PG&E is Roseville, which is Roseville Electric, which is neck and neck with SMUD. But I would say also for a lot of the people who maybe are buying like in like Rockland or whatnot, you're on PG&E, you got some of the brownouts. I love living in Sacramento County right now because of SMUD. I love the idea that SMUD is so affordable that even doing solar, you're not really hurting if you don't have solar. So I do like that about that. All right. Next one, Sacramento's best kept secret, Rancho Cordova. This is a great area. However, I'm impatiently waiting for more shopping centers, restaurants to match the great rapid growth without having to cross over the 50. Great video. Me too. I think that this area, you know, it has that, like, I think what's called a Bryant project happening over there, but I would love to see some really good commercial develop in Rancho. I think if they had like some good restaurants over there, I know they have the Barrel District, which has some of the best microbrewery in all of Sacramento, but I'd love to see some restaurants develop out there and grow. And I think if they could do that, I think Rancho wouldn't lean so hard onto Folsom Ranch in the future, and I think it'd be its own thing. So yeah, I hope that comes sooner than later. All right. Sacramento Landlord's Right, how to handle squatters the right way. Your show's excellent as always. I think your guest George is great, very informative. Thanks. No problem, man. I appreciate it. George is a rock star. He's been on Dr. Phil. He's been on a whole bunch of shows. So hopefully that helped you guys if you guys are thinking about becoming a landlord. All right, who's looking to get a deal on a quick move-in new home by the end of the year? Let's get some deals. Guys, I'm telling you, like, I'm not telling you to buy, but I'm telling you that if your situation is that you're ready to buy, you're timing your life, not the market, I would say go through this video, go to some of the areas, go through some of the communities during what's called, you know, it's already the end of October. So November, December, you're going to see some crazy move-in deal buys. And if you're ready, you could make out like a bandit. We've helped a lot of people get into these, like, you know, the K-Hovs and Tri-Points and everything too. So there are some great deals. Who knows how long it's going to last. I do think that if interest rates keep going high, I think new homes towards the probably like are just going to get so popular that they might not do as many incentives as they do right now. I think right now they need to get things off the books and they overbuilt. So I think it's a good time to take advantage of those type of communities. All right. Quick move-ins, Sheet, Taylor Morrison, Folsom. This is such a good time to buy, and people have no clue. I know. I'm preaching to the choir, but it is, like I said, guys, if you guys are looking for new homes, I know it is a little bit of a nervous decision to make, kind of like a rush decision. But at the same time, if it is your time to buy, check out some of the communities I mentioned below. And if you guys want more information on incentives, on communities that are hot right now, hit info at the Mark McDonough team, and our new home team will reach out to you and we'll get you the incentive sheet right away. All right. Boom. All right. Another question. Rancho is great. I have a rental duplex there that I lived in before buying and moving to another rental property in the Pocket Greenhaven. Love the Pocket also. Rancho Cordova probably has the best value in Sacramento. Agreed. 100%. I think right now, like, for me, it always went between like West Roseville and like and Rancho, but I think Rancho's pulling away a little bit. I mean, you got all the stuff that's happening. Like, a lot of people complain about Rancho and they're like, Elk Grove Unified, I got to go about 25 minutes for school. Guys, what they're doing right now is they're going to be building a middle school, elementary school, and high school between Folsom Ranch and Rancho. My guess is that that's going to be the new high school, elementary school, middle. So if that happens, all of a sudden you're going to see property prices go up. If they do the connector between Elk Grove and Folsom as well too, Rancho is positioned so nicely in the area. And honestly, if you can get a house, let's say like you get yourself like just a regular, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a loft in Rancho, and you're paying like $520, you get a 3.5% FHA loan. I mean, like, I don't know where else in Sacramento you're going to get that. I think the bang for your buck in Rancho is just incredible out there. My daughter plays soccer out there. The community vibe is nice. All the houses were decorated for Halloween. And it's all new homes out there too. So I don't know. And you're on SMUD and you're near Costco, which I love. It's definitely a hard place to beat. I don't know if there's a place. I agree. I don't know if there's a place in Sacramento with a better bang for your buck. All right, who's excited about Woodside Homes and Folsom Ranch? Yes, no. I got to see the floor plans to be impressed. Woodside's an interesting one, right? So at Elk Grove, they kind of built more townhouse homes. The Park and Grant Bay, and, I don't know how that one's doing. So Woodside's an interesting one. I hear that Melrose, though, are very low. Nikki was saying they're like in the 200s, which I like. So it'll be interesting to see how this community does. And we're going to be doing videos of it for you guys. So if this is a community you like, let us know. And we'll also let you know what incentives are doing. Even though they're a new community, it would be interesting to see if they throw out incentives for the homes they're going to be building in the future. Normally they don't, but we'll let you know if they do. All right, who lives Arden Park? Yes, 54%. Okay, guys, honestly, next week when we cover Sierra Oaks, it will be another video just like this, and we're going to break it down for you. Sierra Oaks, like I said, OG spot in the Sacramento area. This is like, I live in downtown Sacramento back in the good old battle days. I want a spot that has a lot of land near the water, my little getaway from downtown, not too far of a drive. That was Sierra Oaks. That was Arden Park. So we're going to feature Sierra Oaks on Monday. It should be a fun one. All right. Thoughts on the resale inventory? Overpriced? I'm kind of with you on that. Good. 2% said resale inventory is good. 2% said it's great. I'm guessing there's some realtors voting on these polls. And I'd say 24% said lacking. 46 votes. Oof, guys, it ain't looking good in the resale market. All right. Rates are going where next week? Up, down, same. Guys, they went up. So 43% of you, and I'm sure you're not happy about this, were right. All right, next one. Who's looking to get a deal, a quick move in, new home by the end of the year? No, 74% said, I'd rather go skiing in Lake Tahoe. I do not want a new home. I'm checked out. I'm waiting for the election results, and I'm going to Tahoe. I get it. But if you're part of the 26%, reach out to our team. We know some smoking incentives, and we'd love to show you a little bit about new homes. And at the end of the day, the decision is completely up to you, but at least you know about these deals and incentives. And, you don't look at something maybe next year and someone's like, oh, did you know these houses were like getting a 3.5 interest rate like in December? Oh, I'd be kicking myself for that. All right. Sacramento, CBS. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. Majority of the news that I see in Sacramento is pay to play. So don't believe a lot of the stuff you see in the news here. Like, I've talked to realtors, I've talked to lenders, and a lot of the people who are on these things are just pay to play. So just, and I'm not saying this YouTube channel is the end all and be all, but there's some statistics out there. There's some council meetings happening too. If you really want to get a real idea of what the market's like, you can check out statistics even on Redfin, or just watch my YouTube show. All right, guys, we're done for the evening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed the show, please smash that like button. If you guys are looking for a team to work with in the area, we would love to work with you. I got my Day of the Dead mug, which is my favorite holiday. Remembering people. I think that's fantastic. And like I said, the market right now is slow. The hot thing right now is the new home builders. So I would say take advantage of that if you are looking to buy. But again, time your life, don't time the market. And just because a deal is an amazing deal doesn't mean it's the right deal for you. Until next video, which should be on Friday, which will be a breakdown of Gold River, maybe about 30-40 minutes where you can go deep into Gold River. And then I'll come back Monday with Aaron as we go over Sierra Oaks. Until next time, guys, this is Mark. Have a good one. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune into the Sacramento Real Estate Live broadcast on YouTube. The show would be nothing if it wasn't for the viewers and subscribers who took time out of their evening to watch and contribute to the show. Now, if you enjoyed the show, please smash that like button or leave a comment on how we can improve and make this show better. Now, if you're looking to purchase a home, sell a home, or just have questions about the Sacramento area, we would love to be your team in the area, so please reach out. We'd love to hear from you. Also, if you want some additional videos about the Sacramento area, here's a good one. It'll help you understand why so many people are making the move to the Sacramento area and calling it their home. It's right over there.